What's up, Pandrones? Peter Von Panda here. I have two cases here for the iPhone 5C, and they look very similar, but this is going to call out some of the differences that I've seen between a generic iPhone 5C case and that is a replica of the official Apple iPhone 5C case. So as you can see, these are two cases that fit the iPhone 5C, which have the more curved back. It's actually a little bit more like the original iPhone shape, and the holes that pass all the way through and the cutout for the camera. This one is a generic or knockoff, you might call it. It's silicone, it's black, it looks very similar, it has the same number of holes. A couple things that I'll point out here is that it's very, very floppy. It feels very flimsy. It does fit the iPhone well, but because the material is so squishy, it actually has a fairly large lip on the edge, and it kind of comes around the face of the iPhone and sits and is raised quite a bit from the front. That's actually a fairly nice feature because it gives the front of the iPhone a little bit of cushion and protection. If you're putting it face down, the Gorilla Glass screen is going to kind of float about a millimeter above above the table or the surface that you're putting it on because of this big extra lip. The downside is that when you're coming in on the edge or the top of the screen, you've got a little bit of material there that is going to kind of disturb that large, glassy, even front side of this front flat of display, and so it's going to be a little more like an OtterBox or a protective case. So there's some good and bad there. The button for the rocker switch here for volume controls is almost non-existent. It's a little bit of a raised piece here. It does work because the way the buttons are on the iPhone 5C, and then there's a cutout for the mute switch. But it's, I mean, if it weren't there, it'd work just as well because you would just press on the silicone, and because it's pretty floppy, you can control those buttons all the way through it. The cutout for the camera is kind of teardrop shaped instead of being a full round Tylenol shaped cutout there, and the holes also appear to be a little bit smaller, and because of the thickness of this material, they tend to be a little bit more rounded. I wouldn't say sloppy, but if you look at the hole cutouts here, they're very clean. They're almost they have a very distinct and almost sharp edge. These do not. These are very round and kind of a kid-proofed version of the holes. If we go over here to the official iPhone one, again, the cutout is much cleaner, and that's because the whole thing is much more rigid. One, it's got a little embossed Apple logo there, very subtle, but I would say this is more rubber than silicone, and so this is very squishy, and this is not. This has quite a bit of rigidity. It makes the cutouts much more distinct, and the advantage is you don't have this huge lip that, quiet doggy, that curls around that front of the iPhone. In fact, when you put the iPhone 5C in the official Apple case, the lip stays almost flush with the glass, and so it's very unobtrusive. It's kind of almost like a hard case, but you get a little bit of extra grippy, soft, quieting action of this rubber. And secondly, you also have this kind of microfiber lining, and of course it says iPhone right there, but this lining goes all the way around. It protects the iPhone case, that back plastic case, from getting scratched, from moving around. Kind of holds a nice, holds it in there snugly, and so this is a nice little feature. It's very, very thin. It's almost like a sticker, an applique in there, and then because of the kind of high quality nature of what Apple does, these buttons tend to work much better, and even though they're pretty subtle as well, when the iPhone 5C is in there, that works great. I would love to be able to show you it in the iPhone 5C in the case here, but I'm not going to do that because I'm using it at present. Again, cutouts are going to be similar, but the whole feel of this more rubber-like or hardened rubber-like case on the iPhone 5C as opposed to these generic silicone cases is night and day difference. Again, you can find these online for about $5. This is available primarily only through Apple for about $30. So there's a huge price difference. But if you wanted to know why there's such a big price difference and why I went and spent the extra money after using kind of the cheap knockoffs for a while, that's why I did it. Peter Von Panda out.